that relationship in a way that you can get to understand through that relationship the preferences of your would-be customer. So the basic and the fundamentals are still the same, but probably the medium, the ways we do it are different.
So, okay, thank you so much, Mr. Tosin. So are you saying that from time to time, that whatever we see in the market, so we can get to borrow into our current business space? Are we supposed to always go back there to, you know, when you price? For example, I know that sometimes that when I go to the market and maybe I'm angry because I'm not being spoken to properly, or I'm not being attended to immediately, or I've actually booked for something upfront and what I'm getting is not.
Hello? Hello? I think we lost Onyi there. I didn't get the last part of our question. Yeah, but I think we lost Onyi at some point, but let me just respond to the little I had. She wanted to know if the lessons or our experiences in the regular marketplace, I mean the physical marketplace, you understand what I mean, have any value in what we did. And I mean, she was making specific references to cases of maybe not getting the exact specs or the exact requirements of a buyer. Like I said earlier, I think it's about the same thing. There's bad business, but there are bad ways of doing business and customer relations in those markets, those regular markets that we know. And it's about the same thing, probably in a more corporate environment, but there are also bad products and bad services and bad customer relations that we see every day on the corporate side of business, or even with SMEs, as the case may be. So the whole sense, I mean, the moral, or say the lesson we can take is that, everything we see, everything we don't like, when we go to the market, when we go buy from that roadside seller, everything we don't like, it could also happen with small businesses on the corporate side, SMEs or what have you. And we could all take lessons from what we don't want to see and try to use that to improve our services, products, our solutions, as SMEs, as small businesses, as even big corporate organizations. The lessons are the same. The requirements and what exactly we need to do because of the profile of our customers may be different, but nobody wants a bad service. Nobody wants a bad product. It's the same thing everywhere. So I would just want to say that simply. The experts and the business expert probably will be able to provide more detail. Thank you. Is Onyi still in the room, or somebody else is taking over?
Okay, Vivian, I'll be taking over from there. Thank you so much, Tosin. I think I will be taking over from where Onyi stopped. I'm co-hosting. Welcome, everybody. My name is Vivian Okbara. Next on the agenda, please let's welcome the author herself. Tokunbo Amosu. Ade Tokunbo Amosu, good day. Tokunbo, are you there?
needs to mute herself. She's trying to
Tokumbo, please unmute yourself.
unmute herself.
Hello, Tokes. We are waiting for you.
To unmute myself. Okay, so can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Alrighty. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, sorry. I'm acting like a kid in a candy store.
So, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. A few questions for the author.
Okay, ma'am.
I learned this is your first book. This is the first book you're authoring.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So how does it feel to
Yes.
be an author?
Okay. Now you want me to go proud, Abby? Since when I've been trying to do humble, right? All right. In fairness, in being practical, it's been okay. All right, let's coordinate. Yeah, we face so much crisis. Okay, so it's actually been a very, very surreal experience. And by that, I'm being sincere when I say, for as long as I can remember, I've always shared content. For as long as I can remember, an article here, an op-ed here. So I think what now makes this different is the subject matter. As a matter of fact, I get more calls on the subject matter. I get more speaking engagements in line with customer intimacy. Some are just curious, some are wondering, is it a tush version of customer service? And really, it's been quite the experience. And I can't wait to soak it all in as the experiences keep coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tos. My second question, why did you decide to write on customer intimacy?
Okay. And I'm supposed to say something really deep like that. Well, okay. So in fairness, I've been in retail for 10 years. I'm a retail manager. I run a few brands, a few other businesses, and I seem to have always known that there was something more than just customer service. And of course, if you live in my part of the world, you'd also realize that there should be something more than what we brand customer service around here. So while this is not a shade, while this is not a one concept is better than the other, I happened into the concept of customer intimacy and then discovered that it was actually a business model that actually gives, how I term it, I've seen a review, it's actually an edge, an unfair edge for the smart entrepreneur. And so I must have been collating materials. I wrote somewhere in a very old jotter here. I hope you people can see. Okay, so this is as far back as 2013. I don't even know that I don't know that I had planned something like that at this time. I said that one quality in a small company that adds to developing customer intimacy includes simplicity. You know, where there are uncluttered processes, where policies are not trying to overshadow everything. And so it must have been that it was in on my mind for a while. And then after a while, I knew I'd gathered quite the expertise to be able to share knowledge on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abed Sekumbo. The last question, before I take the last question, I'm sure participants also want to ask questions. You are ready to entertain their questions. Okay, so all participants.
I was born ready.
You can send your questions or you raise your hand. I'll see it. So send your question in the messages and then we'll take them. We might not be able to take all of them, but we'll get back to you on them. Definitely, I can assure you, Tokumbo will answer all your questions, but I'm going to advise you, some of the questions you are really going to answer, she definitely has written it in the book. So if you haven't got a copy, I will advise you to try and get a copy of the book. We'll be sharing the links to where you can access the books. Thank you very much. Last question, Tokumbo. So in the process of writing this book, what were the challenges you encountered and how were you able to deal with them to bring this book to life?
Okay, thank you, Madam Moderator. I'm trying to be a very serious author on this call, but really, all my friends that I'm seeing, I'm just getting distracted. So on to challenges. like every worthwhile project, I definitely encountered challenges, and I'll talk about maybe like 3 or 4 now. So the first thing I encountered was I had um, I had writer's block at some point, which is why the book was long. When I released the book, I think I wrote it there that 2 years I'm counting over so number of words. This is like a dream come true. So I had writer's block, and if you know me, knowing that content and talking and all of that is not alien to me. It was quite a new, it was quite a new terrain to know that, oh, I could just actually get stuck. There was that. There was the finishing the manuscripts, the very, very first rough manuscripts, and wondering, are you sure? You know that thing where you finally feel, Auntie, Abi, you're supposed to just be writing articles. Yeah? So yes, like the best of us, I'm sure that at some point or the other, we probably felt that impersonator syndrome. And how I got over it was I had people in my inner circle. I had them like, when I say, so maybe Nee is on this call. I've not been in touch with him for a while, but imagine that he's my person and I say, Alaye, please, can you help me just make sense of this? And still on feedback, I got things like, there's a close friend of mine who was supposed to be on this call. His name is Femi, and he said, I seem to like the chapters differently, and I would like to see a flow. I'd like to see second chapter edging into third chapter and all of that, which is why we had to go back to the drawing board again. Yet again, another challenge that I faced was I just couldn't seem to bring it to the marketplace. There was either something lacking, was this good enough? Till now, of course, we're doing a new cover for the hard copy, so you guys can keep that surprise for when it comes. But there were just loads of challenges, and being able to surmount it, and even in the process of marketing it, I now feel like I can write a book on how to write a book. All right, thank you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you so much. Okay, for
yes, ma'am.
For our participants, Tokumba is still here to take your questions. We'll be only taking 2 questions on the meeting now, but please send your questions. Tokumba will attend to them all. And like I said,
they're soaking in my beautiful face. They are not answering questions.
Seriously, because if you buy the book, all your questions. I have room. I have
alrighty.
So thank you so much. Okay, let me take any questions. Presently, no questions. Presently, there are no questions.
That's what I'm saying. They just love me.
I'll take it that they will be sent.
I can see people typing. I can see people typing.
Okay, no, I'm not seeing people typing here.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so moving on. Yes.
Can I ask my own questions, ma? Just one.
Okay.
Can I ask my question?
Yes.
All right, my question will be directed to one of the readers or 2 of the readers. So I'm not sure Oyi is on the call, maybe due to network issues. However, there was that part where I was pining to chip in. I really wanted to chip in on Tosin's reading, Tosin Osho's reading. And, there was that argument around, have things moved from how it used to be? And I dare say that in different climes, there are... Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was going to say that I'm sure that the reference to our farmer friends, as it is, wasn't necessarily to maybe pinpoint is that still a practice that is existent right now? It just showed that because we're all sellers in life, I have engineers on this call, I have HR people on this call, I have school principals on this call, but like I keep reiterating, we're all sellers. And it was quite heartwarming to know that as unrefined as the farmer settlers were, they were imbibing the customer intimacy mantra, which is actually data driven. When you know what your customer wants, you're able to better serve them. And just that far back in the 80s, people, asking questions, sitting right, waiting for you till when you have, and that was what I really wanted to say about it came as like a learning point to know that these people too. I'm sure that Nii Maku is on this call. he knows he knows Abaigbira. He knows that so knowing that there could be yam sellers who were actually adopting that kind of model as far back as 20 years ago or more is actually quite humbling. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Akumbo. Okay, I have something here. I think it is more of a comment, not a question. It's coming from Yemisi Imoregi. I have more of a comment than a question. She says, the content of the book speaks to me even though I work a 9 to 5. Everyone is a customer. Thank you so much, Yemisi. So the next item on the agenda is presentation of winners. That session will be taken by Mr. Tosin. Mr. Tosin Osho, over to you. Mr. Tosin, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Hello, moderator. We have a question. I think we have a question in the chat room.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen it here.
Okay, the question is from Adiola Oluko. You can let Tosin finish his session and then we can take the question.
Yes, please. We'll take the questions later. We need to move on to the next one. We'll attend to them. So, Mr. Osho, we are waiting for you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so am I? Yes, can you
yes, we can hear you
now? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so like it was announced in all the e-flyers and all the advertising that was done before this event, the hosts, our host plans to give away prizes to 2 people, and we really want to reward those who made out time to join us early this morning. So we have 2 winners. Let me just say the criteria for these 2 prizes are quite simple. The first 2 people who are not readers to join the event. And we have 2 of them actually. The first person to join was Wumi. You're gonna forgive me if I don't do your name very well. Wumi Akinkunle. She joined at about 9:56, even before the meeting started. The meeting started officially at 10 a.m., but she joined much earlier. So she's our first winner, and I think she's still with us. I think she's still with us.
Yes, she's still.
Thank you. Yes. The second person, I'm not exactly sure she joined this session. I mean, she was in the first session. I'm not sure she's here right now, and that's Adirun Keigi. She joined at about 10:03, if I recall. So those are 2 winners, Wumi Akinkunle and Adirun Keigi. I think the plan is we'll reach out to them after now and get specific details on how they are going to get their gifts. Madam Host, over to you. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I have one more question. Since we said we entertained 2 questions on Zoom and then the rest later. Somebody sent a question here. That's from Adiola Olokun. It says, the question says, this is a laudable achievement, Renix. Don't you think too much intimacy with a customer can affect the business? Author, thoughts? Tokumbo, please unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you. I was begging you to please unmute me. You know I like to talk. Please. Oh. All right. Okay, so on to Mrs. Olokun's question. I'd like to correct that impression. First, I saw in the comment section one of my ogas who was answering the question. So long as the services are not based on sentiments, being intimate with the customer is not an issue. But yet again, from the perspective of the book, I'd like to tell you that what customer intimacy actually seeks to solve, what that book seeks to answer, is that when you know the customer enough as a result of continuously engaging the customer, it is a no-brainer. So if I bought a green roof house from you, most likely, even if you're a realtor and even if I can afford it, you probably will not be selling me the same house in the same location with a green roof. It will mean that by having known what my aspirations are, by having known what my maybe goals are, and these ones can be gotten, it could be a customer survey, it could be a customer's hangout, it could be a Zoom party, it could be anything. And so the more you know the customer, there are people, the reason why it's even more instructive for Mrs. Olokun is because I know she runs a school. And, as a school owner, after a while, in short, till now, I wonder how my school, the children, the principal of my children's school or the proprietress, she knows so much about us. I'm thinking, when did we give this information? So it's either she's saying, how is Oluwasomi Dotun? Oh, when is her brother doing his 6th birthday? I'm thinking, really? When did we say this? But it meant that continuous engagement had gotten her intimate enough until now she feels like family. So occasionally when I released this book, I sent to her and she said, oh, brilliant. And then she took it on almost like family too. So you see, the dynamics of intimacy actually show that the more you engage the customer, the more you use your data, why you are not just collecting it and saying, sorry, can we have your number or something, the more you get intimate. So beyond just the attitudinal part, which is what customer service 6 focuses on, like, good afternoon, ma, or bending or something, which is not bad. When you know your data, when you work your data, you're a winner and you have lifetime engagement with the customer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tokumbo. Okay, we are going to go on a little recess now, so please don't leave. In case the system logs you out, please log in back. We are at the last segment of the event, please, so don't leave. Okay, we have gotten to the last part of the event, which is the vote of thanks. I want to thank everybody that has made our time to be participate on this event. Thank you all so much. Panelists, thank you so much for making our time to be here with us for the read. Madam Otto, thank you also so much. I know out of your busy schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
To be here. Thank you all so much. Yes, and thank you.
There's a question, one more question in the comment section, ma'am.
No,
sorry.
Please, we will not take more questions here, but we will address them because of our time. Please. So
okay.
We'll be taking.
And it's a okay. That's chapter 5, right?
Customer intimacy vow, because